Hey everybody, Joel at Up North Aquatics, and today we are going to breed some white clouds. I've had a lot of success with this. This is one of the new directions I'm taking with the fish room, and let's make it happen. So we'll do one spawn of the Goldens and one spawn of just the regular white clouds, and I'm going to show you how that's done. So I will see you, I'll see you right now. All right, so white clouds are super easy. Anybody can do it. And we're just gonna do it with a 5-gallon bucket and some yarn. And that's literally it. The important things are getting your gender ratio right and getting whatever you use to catch the eggs right. In this case, we're using yarn. And I will show you how we get that done. Step 1, take your yarn and make a spawning mop. It's super easy to make. Costs about like $3, and if you need to know how to do it and you're a visual learner, you can Google it, you can YouTube it, you can look back on the channel to the video I did about spawning mops. If you're not a visual learner, all you do is you take the string and just wrap it around something about 100 times, cut it, and take that cut end, wrap it around the top to make kind of a little ball like this, tie it off and cut it. And now what you're left with is something that you can, put a cork in the top of and float for fish that like to rub up against things to release their eggs, or you can lay it on the bottom of something like so and mimic like moss on the bottom for fish to spawn into, which is what we're gonna do. Step 2, siphon water from the tank the fish are in that they're acclimated to into the bucket. You can go a quarter of the way, third of the way, halfway, doesn't matter. Just once that's in there, make sure your spawning mops are sunk to the bottom. As you'll see, I added a couple more because I'm trying to get as many as I can as fast as I can, so I want every single egg that's laid to be hidden so that the fish don't eat it. If you're just doing it for fun and you don't have room for 150 fish, because these spawns can be pretty big, as you'll see at the end of the video, then by all means just put one spawning mop in there, let them eat most of the eggs, and maybe you'll get 50 that survive, 20 that survive. But if you want to keep every single spawn, cover the whole bottom with spawning mops. Whatever step we're on now, and the most important one, pick your breeders. What you want is 2 females and a male, because males will fertilize no matter what. So you want to get them the most eggs as possible. Females are going to be very fat. This is a great example. Males are going to be like torpedo-like and generally a little different in color, like that guy there. That's a bad example because he's not super colored up. That's a very colored up male. He's almost red instead of gold, and that bright gold plump female, that's a great example of a female. Here's 2 of them side by side, right there and right there. Plump female, and then like the almost red torpedo one that's full of way more color is the male. So the male's skinny, female's fat. I know that's a pretty crude way of putting it, but it's the truth. So 2 females, get as many eggs as you can. 1 male should be able to fertilize them all. And so here are the ones that we're gonna take. There's our 2 pumped up females ready to drop, and our 1 nice dark colored torpedo shaped male. And all you do then, drop them in your bucket. Walk away from it for 2 days. Now I do the 2-day thing. I mean, they do spawn every morning, and they'd probably be fine after 1 day. I give them 2 because the way I see it is I come grab them out of here at night so that the lights go off and come on right away, they spawn. But there's always that chance that they're stressed out, and so they don't spawn because they don't know where they are. They haven't quite figured it out. They're worried the babies won't survive anyway, so they don't spawn it. They don't spawn, they hold on to them. So I give them that second morning so that they're used to their surroundings. They know there's no predators, they know it's safe, and then they'll spawn. So not tomorrow morning, but the morning after. By then there should be a successful spawn. So maybe an hour after, 2 hours after the lights come on, I'll come on and pull the fish. I happen to have some examples of what you're going to see after you pull the fish, and that's nothing. You pull the fish after 2 days, and in theory the bottom of these tanks are covered in eggs. I pull all the decorations and everything, and then you have to sit like 5 to 7 days depending on temperature, sometimes even longer than 7 days if you're in a really cold area. But most people that keep multiple fish tanks set up for breeding aren't going to be, I don't think, in a freezing cold area. Your power bill will be high. So room temperature's fine. Warmer than room temperature, it'll be a quick turnaround before they hatch. Colder than room temperature, it might take a week or even 2 weeks. But yeah, you're just gonna let them sit for at least a week until you start seeing activity. When you see little fish swimming around, I give it 1 full day to make sure all the eggs that are gonna hatch, and then you dump them in a grow out tank like this one as I hit my head on the lights. It might take a little bit to adjust. You see all those specks in there, those tiny white specks? Every single one of them is a baby white cloud. And there's like probably over 100 in just this one 10-gallon, and I have 4 empty 10 gallons to fill. So once they get to this point, feed them 3 times a day, change 10% of the water every other day, and you should be fine. Once they're hatched, I am growing them out with red ram's horn snails and red cherry shrimp, as you can see on Big Bird there. With the eggs, I wouldn't put eggs with snails. I know snails will eat them. The shrimp probably won't eat the eggs. The shrimp will probably just kind of clean the gunk off the eggs. Might even kind of help you out to have a shrimp in there, but snails I would not take the risk on. I had my white clouds outside all summer, spawning every single day, and not a single egg ever made it, because snails got into the tank and were, that's the only thing in there that could have been eating those eggs. So yeah, and that is it. Well, there's a quick video on how to spawn and raise up white clouds in a 5-gallon bucket. So if you got a tank of white clouds and you want a few more, granted they are cheap, you could go for $3 a piece and fill your tank for 15, 30, 50 bucks with a huge school. But if you're kind of an intermediate fish keeper and this is something you want to start getting into, breeding, and you're sick of just doing guppies and things that just breed on their own, this is something you can put some work into, and with really no risk of killing your fish and a pretty good success rate for like egg layers and egg scatterers. So this is definitely a good starter. And you can get some fish really quick. I mean, I'm trying to get like 150 of these guys for my 125, just so I can just do a huge planted white cloud tank, which stretches like half the length of the fish room. I think that'd be sweet. And I'm just gonna, if you want them that large scale, it's definitely better to breed them yourself, because that would be, geez, by 150 of them would be, well, over $300, $400, 450 bucks. So good cheap way to do that, as well as just the enjoyment I get from it. And then after that, I'll start selling them on eBay here and there just to pay for fish food. So yeah, this is the type of stuff you like. Hopefully you learned something. If you have anything to add it down below. I know I was talking fast just to kind of get through it, but yeah, I mean, let me know what you think. Let me know if this is something you like, and follow along if you want to see the grow out of these fish. I do updates probably every week. We do a lot of feedings and stuff, so you can follow along and see how long it takes for me to get 150 full-grown white clouds into a 125 tank. So thanks for stopping by.